Jayson Tatum looked to continue his hot start to the season against the Pistons. First quarter, finds a cutting Tatum. Ooh, throw down. Tatum with authority over the defender. Man, he's been on one. Look at this. Tough finish.
No, he's back with a vengeance, ain't he?
Absolutely, but then he's in his bag. I think that's the favorite thing everyone's trying to say. It's my Birkin. Shout out to Courtney Williams who really put that on the map. Nice shot by Tatum. Let's go to the fourth quarter, though. Just over 30 seconds left. The Celtics, they were only up 2, but then he hits a tough fadeaway. Tatum, he tells the crowd, though, look at this. Hey, calm down. Just came out. Tatum, Eastern Conference Player of the Week. He finishes with 37 points as the Celtics win 124-118. And now we are joined from Boston with ESPN reporter Tim Bontemps. And Tim, the Celtics are 3-0 this season. Clearly, no championship hangover. What has stood out to you so far about their hot start?
Their three-point shooting, Chiney. This is a team that we saw last year shoot more threes and make more threes than any team in the league, and they've dramatically increased even from that number. They're shooting 22 made threes so far through the first 3 games, over 50 attempts per game, and by the way, they're making 44% of them, all of them the best numbers in the league. And while that's obviously only 1 week into the season, we've seen going back to when Joe Mazzulla took over this team 3 years ago. Now, this is a team that is going to lean into the numbers game. It's going to try to take away opponent three-point shooting. It's going to try to get as many three-point shots up as they can. And even with Kristaps Porzingis not out there right now, every player who plays off their bench other than Luke Cornett is a guy who can step behind the three-point arc and make threes. We saw them against the Knicks here a week ago, come within 1 made three of setting the NBA record for made threes in a game. And we'll see if the Celtics can get that this year or not. But one thing is clear, this team is going to continue to shoot the ball as well or better than anybody. And as you said, there's been absolutely no championship hangover from the defending champion Celtics so far.
Look, you're absolutely right, Tim. I remember watching after the second game, going to our Slack channel where all of our best ESPN nerds are, and it said the Celtics have shot 106 threes, an NBA record. I was like, what? But guess what? The formula worked for them. Now, on the other side, though, of the court tonight are the Bucks, who are coming off of a very surprising loss to the Nets. So, Tim, what are the Bucks dealing with defensively heading into tonight's game?
Well, today, this goes back to the summertime when you looked at this Milwaukee Bucks roster, it was very clear that they had a pretty glaring lack of athleticism on the perimeter. One they've had, frankly, since they traded away Drew Holiday a year ago to get Damian Lillard. And the results through these first couple of games, I think if you're a Bucks fan, have to be concerning. Let's go back to Friday night when they play at home in their home opener against the Chicago Bulls. Kobe White, Zach LaVine, Josh Giddey, they all got whatever they wanted. Then you go to yesterday's game in Brooklyn. Obviously, the Nets are expected to be among the worst teams in the league. Same thing. Cam Thomas, Dennis Schroeder, 2 quick, powerful guards. They got whatever they wanted throughout that game. Milwaukee could not stop them. And now, obviously, we just talked about the high-powered nature of this Celtics offense coming in here to play the defending champs on the second night of a back-to-back. This could very quickly be a 1-3 start for a Milwaukee Bucks team that is expecting to be at the top of the Eastern Conference. You go back to Bobby's point before about the depth in the East. You look at the next few games coming up. They're playing the Celtics tonight, Milwaukee is. Then they play the Memphis Grizzlies. They got a couple games with the Cleveland Cavaliers, who are off to a 3-0 start. They have 1 game against Utah they should win. And then they play the Knicks and the Celtics again. So you're talking about a really difficult start to begin the year, and a couple of games that you expected Milwaukee to win against the Bulls and the Nets. We saw them drop by double-digit margins over the weekend. So certainly it's early in the year, but some real concerns for a contending team in Milwaukee, and we'll see how they respond tonight here against the defending champs in Boston.
Tim, that's why I love talking to you, because your memory is just on point. You are our beast reporter out east. We appreciate you, Tim. All that schedule memory. It could never be me. Now, Jayson Tatum has been on a tear to start the year, and his MVP odds have skyrocketed since the odds opened, according to ESPN Bet. Tatum is now 3rd in MVP odds after being as far as 22-1 during the offseason. Now, remember, no Celtic has won MVP since Larry Bird in the mid-'80s. So, Ramona, how much has Tatum really raised his ceiling this season?
Well, he fixed his jumper. I mean, at the end of last season, in the playoffs and throughout the Olympics, he was not shooting the ball well. He had a mechanical flaw in his jumper, had something to do with his elbow, was a little too far in. And when he came back from the Olympics, he flew back, he did another trip to China with Jordan Brand, but the very next morning, he's in the gym, 6 o'clock in the morning with Drew Hanlon, his longtime trainer, and they were doing 2-a-days. Al Horford told me he showed up at the facility, and he goes, I was walking in and JT was walking out. And I was like, I get there early. Like, I get there at 8. JT was already walking out. And he put in 2-a-days just fixing his jumper. And you can see the results here. He's going to take more threes. He's making them. With a mechanical issue with his jumper is fixed. And flat out, like, he feels comfortable in this role now. Last year, he was really sacrificing his offensive game to set up Jaylen Brown, to set up Jrue Holiday and everybody else. And now he understands how to set those guys up, but also get his.
Yeah, a very dangerous sight, fixing that jumper for the rest of the league. And, Mark, you wrote about the Celtics last week on Anscape. How have Tatum and Mazzulla really approached winning this season coming off of a championship?
Well, Tatum told me he loves Joe Mazzulla. And did you know that Joe Mazzulla is a jiu-jitsu guy? He's actually recovering from knee surgery right now from that jiu-jitsu.
Why are we not surprised?
He uses this jiu-jitsu mentality to, you may have confidence and think you're great, but never underestimate your opponent. And he has instilled that in Jayson. He's instilled that in the rest of the team, these champions, to never underestimate your opponents, no matter how great you are right now.
You know what's interesting? You hear these stories about Phil Jackson, not saying he's there yet, but like the unique things he brings into locker rooms. Bobby, what have you admired about this start for them?
Well,
player and coach.
Yeah, the biggest concern for me with Boston was playing deep into June and then the 3 players with the Olympics as far as the wear and tear. But you look at the first 2 games this year, no starter played more than 31 minutes, and certainly Detroit tested them. But that's where I think Tatum has a huge advantage this year if his minutes are managed, where we're going to see the same Jayson Tatum we've seen the last 3 games, the efficient Jayson Tatum, who I predicted. I brought out the crystal ball.
Let him know. Let him know.
Before, and I said, who is the MVP? And it spit out Jayson Tatum for me.
And to the other undefeated team in the West, the Los Angeles Lakers, they had an impressive win against the Kings Saturday, led by AD and LeBron. Davis had 31 on Saturday, becoming the 4th Lakers player all time with 3 straight 30-point games to open a season. Now, LeBron, he recorded his 113th career triple-double in the win. LeBron was on one in the 4th quarter. He dropped 16 points in the frame alone. And if you don't believe me, ask Rui Hachimura. I made 10 in a row. Are you going to take a contested 2? Swing, swing, teammate. As great as LeBron has been, it's time to debut my checklist, where today I will be breaking down the 3 keys to the Lakers' success under J.J. Redick. Now, my first check mark, Anthony Davis is the leading Laker in Hollywood. AD is the first Laker with 30 points in 3 straight games to start a year since Kobe Bean Bryant in 2005. And I love this misdirection action, all to get him in isolation, where he loves the left side of the floor. Watch him get into his bag. He's just waiting, lulling you to sleep, hits the, nice hesitation move, rip through to get to his mid-range. He's so good at not throwing himself to the basket, but instead using the touch. But on this play right here, this was Big Daddy Ball. Perk was here. He was 0-10 versus Sabonis in his career entering this matchup. Not today. Instead, good defense, better offense. Look at the physicality to finish. That's a tough move. AD has had a tremendous start to the season. The second check mark, LA, Los Angeles, has owned the O-boards. Started from the bottom, now we're here. That's one of my favorite songs. They were worst in the league last season, but now they are 15th. That speaks to their renewed focus of getting extra shots by any means necessary. Now, my third and final check mark, the Lakers have protected their possessions. And with those extra possessions, the Lakers are taking care of the ball. They're 8th in fewest turnovers after being 19th last season. But they've also improved their pass rate. Thank you, JJ. They're moving the ball at a top 10 clip compared to 23rd in passing last year. So the JJ Redick era could not have gotten off to a better start. Now let's bring our panel into the discussion here, because it's now time for Setting the Pick, brought to you by ESPN Bet, the official sports book of ESPN. The Lakers are in Phoenix tonight, so let's make our picks. Starting with you, Mark, who do you have tonight?
I got the Suns. I got the Suns at home. Man, AD's playing good, so it makes it tough for me to say that. But I like the addition of Tyus Jones. I think he's been great. Somebody that's a floor general from them, and he's hitting over 40 from 3, so they need to get him more 3-point shots.
Well, if Bradley Beal plays tonight, he's got an elbow thing that he's been dealing with. But they got Grayson Allen back. They're at home. This is a close game on Friday night, and so I'll go with the home team tonight.
I'm going Lakers.
Yeah? Okay.
I'm going to be
4-0?
Yeah, 4-0. 2 things, and Chiney hit on one of them. Clean basketball here. 5th in assist-to-turnover ratio, protecting the basketball, distributing amongst all 5 players here. The other thing is Rui Hachimura. You look at his rebounds last year, I think he was at 4.3. He's up to 7 rebounds per game. It feels like there's a concerted effort for him getting to the boards this year for Rui. So I think the Lakers go 4-0 tonight.
Okay, so we've got Suns here.
Yeah.
Suns here. Lakers. I'm going with the Lakers as well. Who is going to guard Anthony Davis? I mean, that's an issue. That's a question mark
for everybody.
For the Suns. The depth at that position. You're right. That's a question mark for everybody.